Hi everyone, it's Miss W, ready for another story time session with you, and boy, am I excited to be with you again. Let's get started as we always do with singing our hello song. You ready? One, two, three. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. How are you today? Yay! It's so good to have you here for story time. Let's put our hands in the air. Are you ready? Put your hands in the air, in the air. Put your hands in the air, in the air. Put your hands in the air. Now shake 'em up there. Put your hands in the air, in the air. Spin your arms, spin your arms, spin your arms. Spin your arms. Stop! Go the other way. Spin your arms, 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 spin your arms. Are you ready to clap your hands? Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Clap them real fast. Stop. Let's clap them real slow. Clap them real slow. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Yay! Good job, everyone. Well, our story time today is about something that we love to eat. Yes, we do. It comes in a lot of different colors. It's a fruit. It comes in red, it comes in green, and it comes in a color that we call golden. And when you bite into it, it goes crunch. Have you figured out what it is? Here's some here. That's right, they're apples. We're going to talk about apples today. And not only do we eat apples just raw as they are, we can make them into other things. We can make them into apple juice, apple sauce, and apple pie. So let's talk about these apples today in story time. In fact, the first book is called Ouch! Ouch! And this book is written by Rajhild Scammell, and the illustrator is Michael Terry. You see the hedgehog? Hedgehog might be the one that's saying ouch. Let's find out. Mmm. Hedgehog had just finished building her nest for the winter under an old apple tree. Not too large and not too small, just right for a nice long winter sleep. And there Hedgehog is, yawning. Suddenly a juicy red apple landed on her back. Plop! Ouch! Squeaked Hedgehog. She curled into a spiny ball, hoping it would fall off. But when she uncurled, the juicy red apple was still there. Hedgehog tried to squeeze herself and the apple into the beautiful new nest, but it wouldn't fit. She couldn't get in. She could not. Now with the apple on her back, that nest was too small. Oh dear, she said. Squirrel scurried past with an armful of brown nuts. Stopped to help. And he pushed and he struggled and he heaved and he tugged. But the juicy red apple stayed where it was. And worse still, 3 of Squirrel's brown nuts got caught. 1, 2, 3. Look. So now she had a juicy red apple and 3 brown nuts on her back. Oh dear, wailed Hedgehog. Winter is coming and I can't get into my nest. What will I do? Try rolling on your back, snorted Pig, trotting up. That'll get rid of it all. So that's what Hedgehog did. She threw herself on the ground. Her little legs paddled in the air and she twisted and wiggled and rolled. Has it all gone? She asked hopefully, scrabbling to her feet. Pig shook his head. No. The juicy red apple and the 3 brown nuts were still there. So were a small green pear and a crumbled brown leaf. But up in the sky, sailing toward Hedgehog, she saw a colorful piece of paper. Bother, she cried. This way and that way. She ran as fast as she could. This way, that way, and that paper drifted and landed on her back. Between the apple and the 3 brown nuts. It's not fair, cried Hedgehog, who now had a juicy red apple, 3 brown nuts, a small pear, a crumpled piece of paper, and a leaf on her back. I'll never get into my nest. Hedgehog paddled to the pond and gazed at her reflection in the water. Hello, Hedgehog. That's a lot of stuff on your back, croaked Frog. I'm trying to get rid of it all, sniffed Hedgehog. Dive, said Frog. That always wash things off. Hedgehog dipped a foot in the murky water, then dive, splash. Her friends watched Hedgehog bobbing up and down. The juicy red apple, the 3 brown nuts, the small green pear, the crumpled brown leaf, and the colorful piece of paper were all still there. So was a pink water lily. Oh my goodness! Gluck, 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 gurgled Hedgehog as the others heaved her out of the water. She did look funny. But Hedgehog did not find it funny. Stop laughing! She sputtered and stamped her feet on the ground. Where am I going to sleep? Pig and Squirrel looked worried. So did Frog. I do have one last idea, Aunt Pig. Squeeze through the hedge over there. That'll brush everything off. So Hedgehog closed her eyes and squeezed herself through the thick leaves. But did it get everything off her back? What do you think? Only one way to find out. Let's turn the page. No, it did not. Everything is still there. So were 4 ripe blackberries. Look at the blackberries. 1, 2, 3. Where's that 4th one? 1, 2, 3, 4. There they are. And there, staring at her with a look of great surprise, stood Goat. Ooh, cried Goat, you've brought lunch. Help yourself, said Hedgehog. Take it all. Yippee, brayed Goat. Then he picked off and ate the juicy red apple, the 3 brown nuts, the small green pear, the pink water lily, and the 4 ripe blackberries. For pudding, he ate the paper. The only thing left was a crumbled brown leaf. He just couldn't eat anymore. Hooray! Cried Hedgehog. She felt as light as a feather. Thank you, Goat, she said. Then she ran as fast as her little legs could carry her through the gate, past the pond, across the orchard, under the tree, and home to her nest. Ah! Hedgehog squeezed into her little nest. It fitted just perfectly. And it was the best nest ever. Outside, a cold wind blew another apple off the tree. But it didn't fall on Hedgehog. She was safe in her nest, fast asleep. Oh, that was a great story. I enjoyed that. Hedgehog had all this stuff on her back, and her friends tried to help and wasn't able, but who came to the rescue? That's right, Goat came to the rescue, and he ate everything, and Hedgehog was able to go back and go to sleep in her nest. Can you hold up 5 fingers? We're going to pretend that each one of these fingers is an apple. Now hold up your other hand. Can you wiggle your finger? Wiggle your finger. We're going to pretend that that finger is a worm. And this finger play that we're about to do is going to remind you of another. See if you can think about what it is when you hear it. Are you ready? Let's get ready. 5 little apples hanging on a tree, teasing Mr. Slinky Worm. You can't catch me. Along came Mr. Slinky Worm, as quiet as could be. Let's make a crunch sound. Crunch! And crunch that apple right off of that tree. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 red apples hanging in the tree, teasing Mr. Slinky Worm. You can't catch me. Along came Mr. Slinky Worm, quiet as could be, and snatch, crunch that apple right off of that tree. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3. Are you ready? 3 red apples hanging in the tree, teasing Mr. Slinky Worm. You can't catch me. Along came Mr. Slinky Worm, quiet as can be, and crunch that apple right off of that tree. How many do we have now? That's right, 2. You ready? 2 red apples hanging on the tree, teasing Mr. Slinky Worm. You can't catch me. Along came Mr. Slinky Worm, quiet as can be, and crunch that apple right off of that tree. How many apples are left now? That's right, 1. 1 red apple hanging on the tree, teasing Mr. Slinky Worm. You can't catch me. Along came Mr. Slinky Worm, quiet as can be, and crunch that apple right off of that tree. Apples are all gone, and Mr. Slinky Worm is all full, and he went somewhere and crawled and went fast asleep. The end. Good job, friends. You did a great job. Well, I think the next book that we're going to read is called A New House for a Mouse. There is a mouse in his house. I'm sorry. And this book is written and illustrated by Patrick Horak. There's an apple. One day, a little mouse looked out the tiny hole where she lived and saw a big red apple. I would like that apple to eat, said Little Mouse. I must bring it inside. She tried and tried, but she couldn't pull the apple through the tiny hole. My little house is too small, said Little Mouse. I'll look for a bigger one. So off she set. There's a string. She was trying to pull it in. Looking for a new house makes you hungry, said Little Mouse. She took a few bites of the juicy apple. Then she spotted a hole that was just a little bit bigger than hers. This looks just right, she said, and she looked inside. Hi, Mo. I need a bigger house for my apple and me. May I live here with you? I'm sorry, mumbled Mo, but my home is too full of books. I don't think there is room for both of us. I'll keep looking, said Little Mouse. Soon Little Mouse felt hungry again. I'll just have a little nibble, she said to herself. Then she spotted a hole that was just a little bigger than Mo's. That will be perfect, she said, and she looked inside. Hello, Rabbit. I'm looking for a bigger house for my apple and me. May I live here with you? I'm sorry, twittered Rabbit, but my home is too full of cabbages. I don't think there is room for both of us. Perhaps not, said Little Mouse. Little Mouse set off again. But she was still hungry, so she nibbled on the apple as she went. Then she spotted another hole was just a little bigger than Rabbit's. That will be just right, she said, and she looked inside. Hello, Badger, she said. I'm looking for a new home for my apple and me. May we come and live with you? I'm sorry, barked Badger, but I stretch out my cushions all day sleeping. I don't think there is room for both of us. Perhaps not, said Little Mouse, feeling rather tired and still hungry. She nibbled on the apple once again. That evening, she came across an enormous hole. This must be big enough for my apple and me, she thought. Hello, anybody there? She shouted. Hello, Little Mouse, growled Bear. Why don't you come in and live here with me? No, thank you, squeaked Little Mouse. I think the cave is too small for you and me and my apple. And off she ran. Little Mouse was very tired now. But pulling the apple seemed to be a little easier. Suddenly she saw a tiny hole. That looks perfect, she squeaked. She looked inside. There was no one at home. Little Mouse went right in and pulled her apple behind her. It fit perfectly. I knew I would find somewhere just right for both me and my apple, she said, and she climbed into her own bed and fell fast asleep in her own tiny little hole. The end. I, I tell you, little mouse was looking and looking for a house, and the holes kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until she met bear, and she said and that's when she ran back and found right back into her house. But I'm wondering, how was she able to get the apple in there? How do you think? Because each time that she got to a hole and couldn't get in, she nibbled on the apple. And she kept nibbling and nibbling and nibbling until the apple went from being real big to being really small. And that's how she was able to get back into her house. She ate her way back. Okay, good job, friends. You see my apples. One, two, three, four, five. Five apples in a basket, bright and shiny red. The first one said, "Ah, this looks like fun." The second one said, "Oh, I love this cozy bed." The third one said, "Ah, there's a couple, there's a pair, two make a pair." The fourth one said, "Please move over there." The fifth one said, "I don't know. Oh, my dear. Oh, no, I don't know. This basket looks like a pie crust." I think we're getting ready to be baked into a pie. We like to eat apple pie. Okay, good job, friends. Okay, what are we going to do now? Let's open our hand, drop in an apple seed. Let's cover it with dirt. This is going to remind you of the itsy bitsy spider. Once a little apple seed was planted in the ground. Down came the raindrops falling all around. Out came the big sun, shining bright as can be. And that little apple seed became an apple tree. Can we do that one more time? You ready? Hold your hand out. Your hand is the ground. Let's plant the apple seed. Let's put the dirt over it. Once a little apple seed was planted in the ground. Down came the raindrops falling all around. Out came the bright sun, as bright as could be. And that little apple seed grew and grew and grew. Hold your fingers out into an apple tree. Good job, friends. Good job. Good job. Well, I believe that is the last of story time. We had a great time. We talked about apples, the different colors of food that can be made out of them, and we saw what animals, what they were doing with the apples. Oh, trying to find a house and then being stuck. We had a great story time, and I look forward to being back with you once again. Let's sing our goodbye song. Now it's time to say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. Now it's time to say goodbye, goodbye and story time. Now it's time to say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. Now it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye in story time. Goodbye. See you next time. Bye.